Hello, I'm Zulix and welcome back to another Marvel Tokon video. In today's video, we're going to be going over my personal character wish list. The characters I'd be the most excited for and those that I really would like to see make it onto the launch roster. But before we start with the list, please consider leaving a like and subscribing to stay up to date with everything Marvel Tokon, because I'm covering every drop of news and all the new reveals until the game launches. So to stay tuned to all of that stuff, go ahead and hit all those big old red buttons and all that stuff. Anyways, let's begin. Coming in at number 5, we have Iron Fist. I'm gonna be honest, I feel like this is just kind of a bit of a no-brainer. I mean, he's a master of martial arts, and it's a fighting game, so to me it only makes sense. Plus, there's a ton of moves that they could probably rip straight from the panel and put into the game, which would be really cool to see, especially for like really hardcore Iron Fist fans. Also, with all the Iron Fist shenanigans, you could probably make some really cool assists for him, like a rising uppercut vertical assist, or maybe like some kind of flaming fist like projectile could be a shooter assist. Something like that. I just think there's a lot they could do with the character, and it's a fighting game, and he's one of like the big martial arts characters in Marvel. So to me, it makes a lot of sense to have him included in here. I would also see the argument for like Shang-Chi. He probably has more like popularity right now because of like the MCU and all that stuff anyways. But yeah, I just feel like out of like the big martial artists, Iron Fist deserves a spot. So he's coming in at number 5. Moving on, we have my number 4 pick, which is of course Wolverine. Another classic pick, and by far my personal favorite X-Men. It would actually be criminal for me not to put him on this list because I just really like the character. He's got claws and a bad attitude, which to me makes him perfect for just a pure rushdown character that's just, cutting and slicing through people. His assists could also be pretty cool, and I wonder if they could work like his healing factor or maybe his rage into like a separate mechanic or another meter or something. We've already seen this with like characters like Storm and Star-Lord that have character-specific mechanics and meters and stuff, so I don't think it's out of the question that they could do something like a little crazy or something new that hasn't been done with the character before in a fighting game with his like healing factor and stuff like that. And I think he's just really an iconic character and deserves a spot on the game and on the list. He's really cool, so he's taking the number 4 spot. Taking the third place spot, the bronze medal for characters I want to see in Marvel Tokon, we have the one and only Blade, who, because of Marvel Rivals, is probably going to have a lot of hype around him, which hopefully helps his case for getting into this game. Anyways, he's got a wide arsenal of tools and weapons like guns, cars with guns, and of course swords. And I think they could put together a pretty cool kit for like swapping between his weapons mid-combo. And I mean, every fighting game needs its obligatory sword character, right? And I think Blade would be a really cool obligatory sword character. We get a lot of lame ones in platform fighters, but Blade, not lame. Pretty objective opinion right there, not lame. Anyways, then they could also do something with him being a vampire, of course, because he is the Daywalker. Like maybe giving him a hunger or like a rage meter, or letting him mess around with his special moves or his skill moves by messing with his own health bar, like sacrificing a bit of it to make moves stronger, or maybe he can get lifesteal somehow. I don't know. There's a lot they could do with him being a vampire. A lot of different directions they could take him with, and I'd be really excited to see what this team could do with the character and just how crazy they could make him. Moving on, we have our second place spot, which is going to be to the Punisher. I'm going to be real, he's just one of my favorite characters in Marvel, and when I think of characters that would make a pretty good like zoners or like projectile based or projectile heavy characters, he's got to be like the go-to choice, right? He really is just a guy with gun. So he could have a lot of those in his moveset and his special moves, or they could just go a completely different route and let him use like a series of like knife slashes or like gun butts as his regular attacks, as well, like his like first light, medium, and heavy. Even when you just boil him down to just man with gun, there's still a lot of different directions they can go. And plus, I want to see a lot of like street level representation here. Like we all know we're gonna get characters like Iron Man or Captain America, Spider-Man, and Doom. Like, we all probably could have guessed that they were going to make it, but let's show some love to the street level, and let's not forget about them, and let's make sure we get at least a couple into the game and on this list. Finally, coming in the first place spot, and the character I want to see the most in Marvel Tokon, more than any other character, is of course Moon Knight. This one, not surprising if you know me at all, or if you've watched any of the videos over on my shooter game channel, which I'm not shamelessly plugging, you are, okay? Anyways, I think he would make a perfect just rush down character and just like get in, start swinging, taking those punches, dealing out damage as well. Just, he could be a straight up brawler, but also because of Khonshu and the more mystical elements of his character, you could still have him do some crazy stuff. Like, I don't know, maybe he could use a magical Ankh or staff for some of those attacks, or even maybe summon Khonshu himself for like really heavy hitting attacks. Like, imagine you do like a special move and like Khonshu's like torso pops in and like he grabs them with like his all like skeletal bird hands and stuff. Like, that would be really cinematic, really flashy, really cool. You know, this is an anime fighter, so I want to love what I'm seeing on screen. Then, you know, if they didn't want to go that route, they could go the opposite direction with the character. You know, he could still use tons of his martial arts mastery. You know, he uses traditional weapons and firearms and stuff from being in the military and from being a merc. And he's even got like a lot of his own gadgets, like his baton, staff, crescent darts, grapple gun, the moon copter, like, you know, stuff like that. Like, they could go pretty much any direction they want to with Moon Knight and still make a really interesting like kit and a really fun fighting game character. Overall, I just think he's an underrated pick that has tons of possibilities, and if he somehow makes it into this game on the launch roster, I will be grinding this game day in and day out so hard, like, you have no idea. Like, you will not be ready for the grind that's coming out of me if he's in this game. Anyways, that's going to be it for this video. If you enjoyed the video and want to see more Marvel Tokon videos, like, you know, covering and discussing the game before it's launched next year, please consider leaving a like and subscribing to the channel for more. I also want to hear from you guys. What are your most wanted characters for Marvel Tokon? What do you think about my list? Does my list suck? Is it pretty good? You know, rate my list. I don't know. And what stages do you think could be added to the game? I think there's actually a lot of room and a lot of possibilities for some really interesting stages for a Marvel fighting game. So what kind of maps or stages do you guys want to see in the game? Like, where do you think it would be cool to fight around? I don't know, so let me know down in the comments below. I'm Zululix, and I will see you in the next video.